Okay, Olivia, can we please have a one-word spooky-themed prompt?
Fright Night. Oh, that's two, but
That
It's
works.
fine. Here we go. Three,
We'll let it slide.
2, 1.
That just makes me think of the Six Flags haunted house thing that Ken's heard me talk about a million times because it was for his birthday, and I hated it.
I want to go back.
I requested that I neither be in the front nor the back of the group going to the haunted houses.
You were in the middle, and you needed basically your handheld. It was adorable. Hold on one second. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast. Sorry. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your spooky hosts, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ.
The late, great Hannibal Lector.
Jesus Christ. The late, great? Like, what did he finish the series? And so that's his canon now?
Yep.
What the... Okay, we need to talk about this straight up, but I think we need to bring in our guests. Hold on. Actually, let me introduce what we're talking about. This week, we are doing Hannibal Lecter's original movie, Silence of the Lambs. To continue our villain month here on the Spooky Overtalking Podcast. And yeah, we're joined this week by returning guest Olivia Coady. Welcome back.
Hi.
hello. How are you guys?
Great. Now that you're here.
Great. Yes.
I love to hear that. I'm really glad you played that clip of I guess he's not late and he's not great, Trump. Because that is so funny to me. It truly has been on my mind for the last month and a half since he said it.
Yeah.
What is he talking about? Because I know
No one
he
knows.
like brings it up at rallies, but like, in what context? Like, why is he doing that?
No context.
No one knows.
No context.
No.
I've seen loose threads because it's also come out that he apparently doesn't really know what it means to seek asylum, and he truly thinks of like the old like insane asylum concept. So people are like,
way.
is he trying to tie it in with that somehow? But once again, the late great is also there's just so many layers to it that are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pulling that clip, I like watched the sort of minute leading up to that and afterwards, and you're truly like, what are you talking about? Why did this pop into your brain? That has nothing to do. What do you mean?
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I like
he's a
the
weird guy.
asylum idea of that segueing into him thinking seeking asylum is seeking a being committed to a mental institution.
Yeah.
The
Which aren't we
late
all
great.
seeking that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier.
I would personally love to be in a room full of mattresses, just locked up for like an hour.
It sounds
just put me in
ideal.
timeout for a little bit.
Seriously.
I think we
Make a
can
book.
probably arrange that.
Okay. That sounds lovely.
Also, so Ken, are you a big fan of Fright Night? I'm going in a couple weeks. I've not been since I was young and in Ohio, but I'm venturing to the Great American Six Flags, and I'm excited to see what they have in store.
It's called Fright Fest, right? That's what you're talking about?
Yes, yeah, sorry, that is
Okay.
what I meant.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I've only been like, I think once, and that was with CJ, and that was like 10 to 15 years ago. So I don't know. I would love to go back, but all my friends are scaredy cats or have children and can no longer take the time to go. So
That's
I
me.
know I'm disappointed. But yeah, I don't know. I want to go. I'm excited that you're going to go.
I'm excited.
Are you going with a group of friends?
Going with a group of friends. I fear we have like a couple people that seem to be on CJ's level. Siege, was it unbearable? Do I need to keep them in the dark about some things? What's up?
No, it wasn't unbearable. It's my thing with horror movies as well is like I just hate jump scares, and that's all that is. It's people jumping out at you. So I literally would just like talk to the actors while you're going through them to just try as like some weird defense mechanism. Maybe I'd just be like, I see you. I know you're just going to jump at me. And then they would, and I would yell. So like, even if you know it's coming, they still just go, ah, and it's still scary.
Very cyclical.
But no, I wouldn't say it was unbearable. I think the adrenaline kicks in and there is some fun, but it's just, I personally would never choose to do that like on my own.
Right.
No, completely fair. Like I said, the last time I went was probably like 6th or 7th grade. And we you're at that age, first of all, where you're just kind of like an asshole by blood.
Yeah.
And we tried the tactic of talking back to them. There was this guy who had like a horned cap on that was chasing us around. And we took to calling him horny, but we didn't know what that meant. So it was just a bunch of teenage girls running around the park yelling at this man, calling him horny, until one of like our friends' moms had to step in and be like, you have to stop doing that. And I think about that all the time. And that to me is like the biggest scary thing that could happen to me there. So hoping I don't repeat that, but you never know with bad habits, you know?
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're gonna be okay in that department. But yeah, so how does it work? So I know you have to buy a ticket to just get in, but then isn't there like an additional like level to get into haunted houses?
That's what I've been told.
Okay.
We did know that we were going to do this, so we got the season pass, which pays for itself in 2 trips, you guys.
Nice.
Because I really wanted to do the water park, which I do not recommend doing. It was a big, underwhelming disappointment. So we did that. So yeah, so technically you'd buy for a ticket to get into the park. And then I think there are like 3 or 4 different themed haunted like mansions or whatever.
Okay.
One of which is themed after Stranger Things, which is like a
Ooh.
year too late, a year too early, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
When it's not on like a new season.
Yeah.
I gotta say too, so yeah, Ken and I growing up, maybe what would you say, hour drive away from Six Flags, something like that?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone to the water park. There
No,
was
me
a
neither.
time where like we were going to the amusement park at least once a year. I don't think I've ever gone to the
No.
water park.
Honestly, water parks kind of gross me out. I don't know. I just think they're all just urine filled, right? Like I don't know. I just don't want that.
Literally, me too. And I should actually come on here and clear my name because I have publicly said that I went to a water park recently. They are so gross. They are so disgustingly gross. But there is something so sick within me where I'm like, I want to be in a lazy river at all times of the day, which is really just
Fair.
one long toilet that you're going around in. You're being
Yeah.
flushed
Yeah.
in.
You're sitting on the
And
toilet.
it's disgusting. But I need that. And this is going to sound so cuckoo, but I really think if I were to win like the Mega Millions, I would need to create a water park for myself. Simply. Just for me. If I
Yeah.
piss in it, I piss in it. It's my piss. But I
Right.
don't need people's piss that I don't know in it.
That's
And
my
that's
piss.
the biggest downfall. It's my piss. It's all clean.
I love that in some water parks they have a literal attraction where you kind of go down a slide and then you go down this like funnel, almost
The
like
toilet
you're
bowl.
the turd.
shit.
Like, come
Literally.
on, man. Like,
Absolutely.
at least
And
don't
that
make me
one
think about it.
always gets water shot up your nose. Like as soon as you're falling, it's
Oh yeah.
a colonic in there.
God.
I should say that's not to say I don't enjoy water parks. I just for some reason the Six Flags one have never gone to that one specifically.
And
Yeah.
there's not a lot of like fun festivities. Like I've never been to a Great Wolf Lodge, but I think I'd test that out before I went back to the Six Flags one.
We'll say I think I have been to that one. One of the 30 in the Wisconsin Dells. And it's real fun if you get drunk and just hang out there all day, which is what I did. They have these gigantic fruity drinks that taste amazing that are probably just all sugar, but also a lot of booze.
Nice.
And then you go
just
sit in
pee
the
right in the pool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You go in the hot tubs and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to get back to a more spooky tone. This is way too upbeat and fun and summer themed, but we got to get back to the autumn. Look, Halloween is about a week away at this point. And I've been asking most of our guests this, Olivia. Growing up, when you would go trick or treating, did you hear of any like urban legends or any kind of wives' tales around Halloween or any spooky houses in your area that you were told to stay away from or anything like that?
Yeah, I feel like the one story we always heard is the one about the girl who was babysitting and there was that doll that kept moving, but then the doll like came to life. Like they had a human-sized doll. Have you guys heard this
No,
one?
please tell us.
Okay, so and this was in a very specific neighborhood within where this happened is like what we heard about. Or I'm not even like speaking coherent English. Okay,
I'm too scared.
yeah, I'm too scared. But there was a neighborhood in which this supposedly happened. And this girl who was maybe, we'll say like in high school when I was in 6th grade, never knew her name, was always a friend of a friend, right? And so she was babysitting this family, and they had this life-size clown doll. The dad like loved clowns, loved the carnival, yada yada yada. But it was also cool because they had like a popcorn machine in their house. So it was like they were known as like the fun carnival house. And so while she was babysitting, like a bunch of weird things started happening. And, that doll was just always there in the corner, just being so creepy. And I remember there was like part of the story in which someone like rang the doorbell and she was like, whatever, it's like ding dong ditchers. And then she came back and the doll had like slightly moved. And there are a bunch of like little iterations of that happening throughout the evening. And then all of a sudden she hears like the kids screaming upstairs, like while she's watching TV. And as she's like going to go check, she notices that like the doll is gone. So then she's like panicking. And that's like always where the story ended. Like you never know if she's alive. You never know if she called the cops. You never know anything, And then like as you grow up, you hear that like every town except your town has an iteration of that story themselves in different capacities. So there's always like stuff like that. And then, I mean, this is so terrible, but whenever you saw a rundown house, I mean, that house in the neighborhood was the creepy haunted house with like a creepy man in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because they didn't care about taking care of their lawn, they're instantly creepy house.
I know. Yeah.
Lights are off at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
There's one house on our block that like the hedges like totally overgrew like the entrance to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they didn't have any lights on or anything. And that was the scariest house to go up to trick or treat at. I don't think they wanted trick or treaters is kind of the vibe you get. And that's the scariest one to go to.
Well, did you guys ever have those people in your neighborhood where it's literally they just wouldn't put candy out, but you would see them in their living room, like in the dark watching TV? And you're like, what's your problem, dude?
Yeah. You're asking for a trick. You don't get the treat. You get the trick.
Fully.
That's what it is.
Fully. So bad karma to them.
Seriously.
I avoided trick-or-treaters but this was me a few years ago. So it's not like me sitting in my own house. It's me at an apartment. But
that is the same thing.
Well, I don't know.
About?
Do you get trick-or-treaters?
Not at this place. This was at 2 apartments ago.
Okay.
So it was like a walk-up. So I was in the top floor.
Well, then,
so it looks like a
then
house.
You weren't going to get any then, right? So
yeah.
No, we did. It was more that
then you should have had candy. Yes.
No. I got home as I like parked my car right in front of my place and saw kids were about to like go up the stairs to ring the doorbell, so I just sat there for a little bit
CJ.
to let them leave. I didn't have candy, so they weren't going to get any anyway, but I was just like, I don't want to awkwardly have to be like, excuse me, and walk.
You didn't have any candy in your house at all?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so you had some on hand?
No. These are just, casual desserts.
Give them some loose M&Ms.
Yeah. No, you're canceled.
Send them the other way. Yeah. Oh man!
At least give them some like nail heads,
Really
give them a story. You give them like a bunch of loose nails. You might as well go full force at that.
Yeah,
and this creepy guy in his mid-20s gave me some nails.
Yeah,
absolutely.
God, yeah, CJ, full shame, and I'm surprised they didn't egg your walk up.
Would have been fine with me. I was renting, so they.
What a smell, dude!
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Caked on egg.
Yeah, on the outside. I'm gonna smell that.
Canceled.
They could have thrown anything at you, and actually, the main character of this movie got something gross thrown at her.
Ew.
So we'll talk about that and more coming up on the Overtalking Podcast.
Gross.
A killer is on the loose. A rookie FBI agent is on his trail. But in order to track him down, she'll have to match wits.
I'll help you catch him, Clary.
Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lector inside your head.
With the darkest of all minds.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast, joined once again by returning guest Olivia Coady, and we're talking about The Silence of the Lambs. Before we talk about Miggs, Olivia, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock for you to describe for someone who's not yet seen Silence of the Lambs without spoilers. There's not a whole lot, but
ready, go.
All right. We meet a young FBI trainee, Clarice Starling, who is going through camp. She gets drawn into this case of the serial killer who is basically skinning, oversized. Oh my God, what a terrible thing to say. Plus size women. I'm canceled. I was just reading the synopsis, which is what they say. Oh my God. Anyways, so she gets into this case and she's trying to solve it, and she works with this Hannibal the cannibal psychologist who's trying to help her with the case. Oh my God.
Do you want maybe like 10 extra seconds? So you can just
finish that up.
How does one even save it from there? Okay, some additional 10 seconds on the clock for me. So she's hunting down Buffalo Bill with the help of Hannibal the cannibal, who is an ex-psychologist who was eating his patients. And she's trying to crack that case. And boy, does she.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so Hannibal the Cannibal initially is held in a maximum security underground
windowless
cell with a bunch of other very, very bad people. And during Clarice's initial visit...
we don't have to talk about that part.
No.
We can move past
it. We have to.
I feel like I've walked right up to it. Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't want to. Actually, don't want it. I don't really want to do it.
I actually have to, because this was a very formative experience for me growing up. And like the first time I watched it was with my dad in high school, and two things happen with Miggs, the character, and that is he drops the C word and he goes, "I smell your C word." I won't put that onto the Overtalking podcast, but that to me, I remember that was like the first time I had heard it in like media, and then like to be with your dad, and I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. And then obviously she's talking to Hannibal, and as she's leaving, Miggs is jacking off and then throws his semen at her, lands square in her eye. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And that was another incredibly painful moment for me to watch with my dad.
Yeah.
It just was like a double whammy. Horrible.
I've seen this movie once or twice before this viewing, and I definitely either don't remember it or didn't register what he was actually throwing at her when I had initially viewed it.
And just
this time around, I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great. This was my first time watching it. Never seen this before.
Oh,
whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Had you seen any of the Hannibal movies before?
I don't think I knew that there was more than this one. I watched the show Hannibal. Does that count?
That counts. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's 4 movies in total. Yeah.
Nope.
Well, welcome. Were you familiar? Because I never knew until a little bit later on. Growing up, I'd always heard about like Hannibal the Cannibal, but in my brain, it just was because Hannibal rhymed with cannibal, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't really know it was a distinct character until these movies. CJ, were you familiar that he came from Silence of the Lambs, at least?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I like it. It's been in culture for forever. So I at least knew like the lines and kind of what it was about and stuff like that. I did not realize there were 4 of these.
Have you seen
I'm
any
not
of
sure
the
I can
others?
name them all.
Ken?
The Red Dragon. That's it. I think one's just called Hannibal.
Yeah. Yes. There's Red Dragon, which is before he was.
It's the prequel.
Yes. And then Hannibal, I believe, is him like going after Chilton, I think, at the end. I think it's like a continuation.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that.
Do you know what the third one was?
I don't. That I didn't know existed, if there is one. Okay, so it's not going to be a trivia question.
So a little bit of a not a spoiler, but Meg wrote the trivia and wrote it in a way that Emily wrote it a couple times ago, where I don't know the answers.
Okay,
nice.
So we can all 3 participate. I am excited. I'm just going to skim through these. Nope, that is not one of the questions. Okay.
So I'm seeing sequel Hannibal, and then prequel Red Dragon, and then another prequel Hannibal Rising.
Yeah, and so this is based off of a book, or at least the Silence of the Lambs is based off of the first book, but it apparently had been previously adapted in a movie called Manhunter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, with different cast, but actually Red Dragon. It's based on Red Dragon, so it's based on the prequel.
Okay, so I was on Wikipedia, and on this same little screen, I just looked down, and it says, this is a tie back to earlier, former United States President Donald Trump has repeatedly referenced Hannibal Lecter and the Silence of the Lambs during his 2024 presidential campaign, claiming that other countries are dumping There's insane asylum patients and convicted prisoners into the country while likening immigrants to the fictional cannibal. Okay, so there it is.
Wow.
Oof.
Okay.
Fun.
I still like the idea of him being confused by asylum
Well,
because
that
they are seeking asylum.
Yeah.
yeah.
That
It's
probably
insane.
is also
Insane
the
as
case.
hell.
I'm pretty sure that he just got confused. He's not a young man. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in this movie. We got 2 serial killers
Yeah.
Mhm.
all at once. One's captured, but he's still kind of in control a little bit. He has control over Miggs. He basically gets Miggs to commit suicide after what he did to Clarice. And yeah, it's heavily hinted at early on in the movie that he can mess with your mind pretty easily and manipulate people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of precautions around what you can and cannot say or bring to him or receive from him.
He is a
And,
former psychiatrist too, right?
Mhm.
He like
That's
has
right.
a background in psychology. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I really would love for him to analyze me in some way. Would hate to be manipulated, would hate to be eaten, but he does seem
Yeah.
like he knows what he's doing, you know?
Sure does. Yeah. If he wasn't evil, it would probably be a pretty good therapist.
Probably a long waiting list to get on time with him.
I would love to just watch him pinpoint what deodorant I was wearing. That was pretty impressive.
The face cream, yeah, insane. Insane.
Getting hints of Old Spice. I realized too the show Hannibal, Mads Mikkelsen is the evil
Yeah.
guy, and I think I'm just now putting it together of like, oh, that's why in my mind he's always the bad guy. Like in everything, he also is in a lot of roles where he is the villain,
He
but
is,
it's just like
yeah, pretty typecast.
I think
typically. He looks
as, like-
kind of evil.
at a younger age, it's just like, oh, bad guy.
Yeah, completely. Was that show good?
Yeah, I want to ask about the show too. Like, what does it lead up to? Like, does it tie into this at all, or?
I mean, it stars like Mads is Hannibal, so like
Okay.
that is actively going on where he is, I think, still seeing patients, but then you're seeing him like cook their organs and eat them and stuff like that. And then it's the main character is kind of on his trail or trying to put the pieces together. But there's a weird thing where it's like the main character cop guy has some sort of weird like visions or something that like help him solve the case.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, this was also back in like 2011 or something like that. So it's hard to remember, but I remember watching all 3 seasons of it and liking it.
So I just looked it up, and the TV series Hannibal is considered canon to the movie franchise. So
interesting.
that's,
There you go.
that's pretty cool.
So
Yeah.
probably like a prequel, I would say then.
Yeah, it's probably before Red Dragon. Then is my guess.
I'll have to check it out.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. I've heard great things about the Hannibal TV show. The showrunner of that show, his next big thing was supposed to be the A24 produced Crystal Lake TV show, based on the Friday the 13th franchise. However, there were some creative differences, and he left the show after having written basically the whole thing. But people were very bummed because he apparently is a great showrunner. So that's in development hell now. Again, just like every Friday the 13th movie, but that's a whole other discussion.
And like a lot of media at large.
Yeah.
What?
Just scrapping things before we get to see them.
But tying to another piece of media, so you mentioned that Hannibal had a kind of, was it precognitive detective?
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember.
Very similar to, well, hopefully not spoilers. But Olivia, have you seen, what's it called? Long Legs.
Long legs. Yeah, I have.
Okay, great. Because, yeah, I mean, the director of Long Legs, Anthony Perkins' son, whose name I can't remember now. Someone Perkins. Oz Perkins.
Yeah.
Has straight up said that like he was heavily inspired by Silence of the Lambs when he made Long Legs. And I mean, yeah, it's very apparent. I wonder if the precognitive thing is in any of the books, because I don't think it's in any of the movies. But if it made it into the TV show, it could be something. But
Yeah.
kind of
In the
another parallel
show,
there.
you're seeing the visions that he is, and it's like gruesome stuff, I remember. And yeah.
A lot of deer stuff, I remember. From,
Yeah.
like Tumblr.
Yeah. There's a lot of deer stuff. I do remember that.
Huh.
Check it out.
I want to. Yeah, anything else we want to talk about with Hannibal the Cannibal before we move on?
Yeah, I think I'm so done talking about the main guy of the movie.
Yeah, I'm tired. Let's do trivia. I'm excited for that.
Okay. All right. It's time for...
Hey, did you know that?
That's right. For new listeners, the trivia portion of our show, we pit our guests and CJ and me all heads to heads to see who knows the most about what we watched. Olivia, CJ, me. Are we all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. First question is multiple choice. Jodie Foster was not the first choice to play Clarice. Many other actresses were offered the part first. Which of the following actresses was not up for the lead role? Okay, so I'm going to read 4 actresses' names, and only one was not actually considered for the role of Clarice.
Get ready to Google these names.
That's cheating, CJ.
You need to know who they
I think
are.
you'll know all of these people. Okay, A, Helen Hunt.
Okay.
B, Michelle Pfeiffer. C, Meg Ryan. Or D, Laura Dern. Yeah, these are all pretty interchangeable in my mind. Interesting. Laura Dern has the accent. Actually, I think Meg Ryan can.
And
do
I
the
feel
accent
like
too.
because of like Blue Velvet and stuff, I feel like Laura Dern actually would have been really good in the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Helen Hunt would have been. Well, Helen Hunt might not be serious enough.
Yeah. I'm eliminating Meg Ryan immediately. I do not think it's her.
Wait, are we finding
then
out
that's the
who
answer, you
wasn't?
think.
Yeah.
Then
okay.
Meg Ryan.
I was also going to go Meg Ryan.
I think Meg Ryan makes sense. Yeah. Meg Ryan. All right. We're all saying Meg Ryan. The answer is not here. How did she do? Oh, the answer is Helen Hunt, apparently.
Okay,
Really?
me, the universe in which Meg Ryan is playing this
Yeah.
role.
Yeah. Well, I mean, didn't end up getting it, but yeah, interesting.
Damn.
Also, yeah, Jodie Foster's, I think, 29 or 30 when she's in this. Just
Wow.
very young.
Mm-hmm. No, she looks much younger.
All right. Next question. This film had a budget of $19 million and was extremely successful. How quickly did the movie recoup its budget? I'm going to say opening weekend.
Yeah. I was going to say like 3 days to count Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. I'll say 2 days.
Well, now I guess we'll do Price is Right rules, and I'll go 4 days.
Okay. The right answer is... Oh, Olivia, you're closest. It's first week of release. So
Oh, whole week.
I guess we'll say 7 days there. All right. True or false, Sir Anthony Hopkins improvised some of Hannibal Lecter's quotes and mannerisms. This has got to be true, right?
I would say true, but maybe he's a purist.
Yeah. Trying to think, going through my head of like what I think could possibly be improvised. I wonder if the weird like if that was improvised. I'll say true.
Okay. Olivia, what was your answer?
I'm going to say true as well.
Okay, I'm saying true as well. Because, yeah, I mean, there's no way they wrote that in the book.
All right, you got to do this weird thing with your mouth. Go like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
All right, on the board.
He actually improvised him being a cannibal.
Hear me out, guys.
I wasn't in the script.
I've got some backstory.
Hear me out, but his name kind of rhymes with something. Let's see if this goes anywhere. I know that this was Anthony Hopkins' like breakout role. Like he wasn't
Oh,
a huge
really?
name before this,
Wow.
and he was like 50 something at the time. So it's never too late to
Good
get into
for
acting,
him.
Wow.
or maybe he was in acting, but never too late to break out. Anyway. Next question. After reading Thomas Harris's 1988 novel, Jodie Foster wanted to buy the rights to make the film. However, another actor had beaten her to it, planning to direct the film and star as either Hannibal Lecter or Jack Crawford, the head of the behavioral science unit at the FBI. What is the name of this Academy Award-winning star? This is multiple choice. Was it A, Michael Douglas, B, John Voight, C, Jack Nicholson, or D, Gene Hackman? Gene Hackman. I need to stop reacting because I feel like I'm giving away what I think my answer is. What do you guys think?
Gene Hackman. What?
Okay. I wasn't looking, but I actually am going to go Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman? Okay.
So who bought the rights and then would possibly star as Hannibal? That's what they wanted.
Yeah, was planning to direct and
Yeah.
star as either
Wow.
Hannibal or the head of the FBI.
I
Or
don't
that
think it's
section
John
of the
Voight.
FBI.
Michael Douglas, I don't think either. I feel like he's always just like a normal guy. Those are most of his roles,
Yeah.
at least what I've seen. I'll say Jack Nicholson. That would be an interesting Hannibal.
It would be. I think the planning to direct part makes me feel like that's not Jack Nicholson. Because I feel like Jack Nicholson would be a good Hannibal Lecter. But he didn't end up, whoever this guy is didn't end up playing Hannibal Lecter or anyone else because none of these people are in the film. So I'm going to go Michael Douglas. I think he wanted to be it, but he's like, no, it doesn't make sense. And then didn't direct it either, I guess. I don't know. All right, so we got 3 different answers here. What's the right one? Oh, I was wrong. Olivia, you get the point. It was Gene Hackman.
Okay, I did see it on my Wikipedia page when I was looking up the movie thing.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean to. It was unintentional. But still, I'm really smart and probably would have just known that. So
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
thank you.
All right, next question. Brooke Smith was offered the role of
Who is
Catherine Martin
Who is
on the
Googling
condition.
Brooke Smith?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Brooke Smith was offered the role of Catherine. Holy crap! Brooke Smith was offered the role of Catherine Martin on the condition that she gain how much weight? Who is Catherine Martin?
The
She's
one who gets,
the girl at the end who was
gets
the last
kidnapped.
girl who was kidnapped.
Oh,
The
okay. And
senator's
then she had to
daughter.
gain weight because
Well, yeah. Can I see what Brooke Smith looks like?
Sorry, was this
what's like her natural weight?
What's the question around her? What about her?
Okay, I'm googling Brooke Smith, and that's the most generic name in the
wow.
world.
Brooke with an E.
Yeah, Brooke with an E.
Oh, that is the actual woman who played her.
Yeah, that's her name.
She always plays insufferable characters.
Yeah, trying to kill a dog in this one. Not okay. So the real question is, how much was she asked to gain in order to get this role?
Uh,
An insane question, Meg, to make us do.
Seriously.
I don't know, 20
I don't wanna
pounds,
go first.
30 pounds? I don't know.
I was also going to say 20, I don't know.
We need a real answer, Olivia.
Here's the thing.
Number.
It's I'm just looking at her headshots. So it's I have no this is an insane thing to analyze.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go 20 pounds.
Okay. CJ, you're also 20?
I'll say 15 because just to make it different.
I'll do the over and say 25.
Okay.
I feel like it's way more than that.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right, let's see. Right answer is 25 pounds exactly.
Nicely
All
done,
right.
Ken. I hope you're proud of that.
Yeah.
You really nailed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should become one of those carnival barkers who can guess people's age and weight.
That's still a thing.
It's so funny because now the people who are guessing are straight up teenagers, which is so funny to me. If you were an adult and had a teenager try to guess your weight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what are you doing to yourself?
Or you'd be in your 40s and they're like your retired age, 60 is Jesus, ouch.
Okay, you're going home.
Yeah.
How we doing on points, Siege?
Olivia's up with 3 points, then Ken with 2, and me with 1.
Okay. This might be the final question. We will see. What is the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score in percentage? Just closest, because I don't know closest. Well, actually, it might be more interesting with closest without going over with 3 people. Let's do that.
Okay.
Closest without going over. Olivia, you go first to give me and CJ the advantage.
Wait, okay. Well, now without going over is hard because my gut reaction was 97. And that can't be true. So I'm going to go 89.
All right, then
Okay.
Ken, because you have 2
Yeah.
points.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I got to really think about this. There's a lot of strategy that goes into this one. It's not just 2 people. Because if I just pick 1 over, CJ can just box me out and just go 1 over that.
We'll see.
Or he could go under and do $1. But then he could just do 2 and then box me out of that. So
I could say any number.
Mm-hmm.
sure could. I'm not going to go right over. I'm going to go. I feel like this was well received. I'll go 95% to make this
Ooh,
interesting.
that is interesting. 96 seems too high. I will say, yep, sorry, Olivia, going 90.
Ugh, you monster.
Cutting you off.
All right. The correct answer is 95%.
Wow.
Son of a bitch.
Ken cheated. He's got the answers. He's cheated.
I swear to God, I just found it out.
All right, Ken.
But yeah, all right. So, well, we're tied though, right? We got to do a tiebreaker. All right. So this is just going to be me and Olivia.
Okay.
And it's just going to be who's closest.
All right, I'll leave.
What is the Rotten Tomatoes audience score? Just in percentage, just closest. And let's say it at the same time so we don't influence each other. All right. 3, 2, 1.
86.
90.
Oh.
Okay. Correct answer is 95% again.
Yeah,
Really?
Nicely
So I'm the
done,
winner.
Ken.
Yeah.
The same?
Yeah, apparently. Is that right? That's what it's written here.
Good ass movie.
Okay, just for fun, what do you think the letterbox score is? This is just Joe Schmoes and Letterbox. It's out of 5 to 1 decimal point. I just saw the answer, so I'm just curious what you guys think.
I'm going to say 4.1.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great guy. I was going to say at least a 4. So maybe a 4, just even.
Yeah, 4.3. This is
Wow.
incredibly high. Letterbox is really hard to break out of the 3 range for some reason. But I guess this since is like old and universally praised. I guess that helps.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's my favorite movie to take a nap to, honestly. I think that's one of my Letterbox reviews already. I take the best naps to this movie. And not because it's boring. I just find it very comforting.
Yeah, Meg and I sometimes watch like Sunday mornings a movie, and that's when we watch this. But I always am so sleepy, and I fell sleepy during this, but not because it's a bad movie.
Well, yesterday was rainy too. It was perfect. That's when I watched it. It was lovely.
Well, I think it's time for our ratings then.
You've heard us debating. We know you've been waiting. So now it's time to hear our ratings.
Olivia, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Silence of the Lambs for you?
Yeah, for me, I am going to go a 9.9. I don't know what would make it more perfect. I guess maybe me not wanting to sleep during it. But yeah, straight up 9.9. I love everything about this movie. Love it.
You just don't want to give out a 10?
It's not perfect.
I don't know why I don't want to go for a full 10, but in my gut, I just can't. And it might just be because, I don't know, the bug situation. Really, I hate when they take the moth out of her throat. So I guess if that didn't happen to be so perfect. I wish they didn't do that.
Also, I feel like there wasn't really a payoff for that. Am I wrong there? They showed he has some artwork in the basement.
No,
there's a huge payoff.
Big payoff. That's how she finds out it's him, brother.
Yeah, there's a moth flying around in the house, and she's like, oh shit, this is him.
Yeah.
Because there's a moth in a house?
Yes!
A rare moth from Asia.
Oh,
Did you not hear those two nerds?
On what speed did you watch this, CJ?
Normal.
No, you didn't.
That's good.
It was a 2-hour movie. There's no way you watched it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, 3 times this. No, just kidding.
No.
I didn't watch it. That's the real answer.
Okay, great. Yeah.
That's why I was confused.
Well, CJ, what would you rate this movie for you?
For me, I would have, if you had just cut out the actual guy they're after entirely, I would have been fine with that. I would have watched the whole movie of just them interacting with Hannibal and be like, I like this guy. Show me more of him. He's interesting. Yeah. I didn't really care about the other part of the movie. I liked him. He was more fun. I like that he escaped.
In such a cool way, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very smart and clever.
Did you see it coming, Siege? The way he escaped?
The pen?
That
part?
Face?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, when the body was there and they were kept cutting to it a lot, I was like, I think that's him. He wouldn't have just also given up like that. He's not that kind of guy.
Right.
Not that kind of guy.
Yeah, he's too
Alternative
smart.
name for the movie.
He's just that kind of guy.
It's like the 90s rom-com version.
Yeah.
With Meg Ryan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, listen. This is my first time watching it. So you got to remember, there's no nostalgia for me. I have never seen this before.
There weren't. Wait. All right, let's preface it with this then. There wasn't nostalgia for the people who gave it a 95 opening weekend.
Right.
The
Yeah.
first
Also,
week.
CJ, like you watched all of Hannibal. Like that didn't help at all here.
It did, in that I liked the show Hannibal, so I was
And that
familiar
it's
with
not
the
a 1.
character.
Okay, so what are you giving it?
Probably only maybe a 6, 6.5.
Oh man.
Wow,
I did
that's
not
so
care for
wild.
this.
Wow, that's wild to
Really?
me.
What didn't you care for?
I did not care about the guy that they were actually chasing. I feel like that wasn't that interesting, or the Hannibal part I was way more into that. And then like cutting back to the manhunt for that, I was like, this guy's weird and whatever.
I don't even know how to respond if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's fair. This is not,
Yeah.
I feel like in the year of our Lord 2024, there's been so many movies about serial killers and crime chasers and all that stuff. I don't know. This isn't like a fresh take on anything for me because I'm watching it for the first time now.
Ugh.
Yeah, let's spit on one of the original.
I mean, I get that only because we've said that about other movies on this podcast where I've viewed it that way, specifically Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, all right. I mean, I'm not gonna. That's fine. For me, this movie's great. I was sleepy. I feel like if it's a perfect movie, I would not be sleepy. So it's not a full 10, but it's a 9. Like this is for me a very good movie. I do appreciate having more than one serial killer, and the fact that he's locked up the whole time. Like he can't be the one that they're looking for. So I like how that intersects with what is going on. Like they're trying to leverage him and his knowledge about killing to get at an active serial killer. And I would watch a whole series like that, although I don't think that's what Hannibal's about, unfortunately. But yeah, I really like it. 9. Damn fine cup of movie.
Can language.
Sorry. dang fine. Well, Olivia, thank you for choosing this movie.
Thank you, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. Next.
Don't speak for me,
next
Ken.
week. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's take that
It's
back.
not okay. It's not okay. Next week, we will be doing our Halloween episode with returning guest Danny, who has been on damn near every Halloween episode so far on this show, to talk about Bride of Frankenstein, the super old original one. So be sure to find that and watch that before next week if you want to watch along. And Olivia, thank you for joining us. Any words of wisdom or anything you want to plug at the end here?
Nothing to plug. Thank you all so much. Make sure you're registered to vote, which may
Ooh, good.
have closed by the time this comes out. But
I don't know
we
when the
vote
deadline
then.
is.
Vote, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget to vote.
Friggin' vote.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to complain about the results if you don't vote. That's my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I get that not everybody can vote, but those of you that can, fucking go vote. We have such low turnouts. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. They're too busy
Yes.
seeking for asylum. All of them.
Those padded mattress rooms.
Absolutely. Got to take a nap.
Look, if you don't vote, you're going to drive me to seek asylum
Yeah.
in a mental institution.
To clarify, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. That's it. CJ, what do we got to plug here?
You can follow us on all of the things at Overtalking Pod. Email us at overtalkingpod@gmail.com. Go to our website, overtalkingpod.party. College Texas Show at USACat1591.
Oh no, they're here. They're being wheeled in on the kind of lifter wheel furniture moving thingies that Hannibal Lector was wheeled on. Yeah. They can't speak because they got the mask on, but they're here to remind me to remind you. It's the Overtalking Overlords, by the way. I just want to clear that up. Yeah. They're here to remind me to remind you, if you'd like to help us go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and rate, review where applicable. Reviews are what help people find this podcast. Also, we spend no money in advertising, so if you'd like to help us tell a friend and spread the word, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you. And drink your magic mind and do all that stuff.
Thank you.
And they're gone. And as we always say at the end of every single episode,
put the lotion in the basket.
yes, put the lotion in the basket. It puts the lotion on the skin.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, listeners. This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week's special guest was Olivia. Music by Justin Peters. Logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.